Hello. Good morning, everyone. So we are back at it with some linens, laying out some linens. So I was reading this problem before, and I just thought it would be useful, helpful to just go through some of these examples and just like do them out by hand and see what, if anything, like jumps out at me to arrive at some process for doing this. So let's see. Okay. So the thing is, basically we need to see if we can construct this design from these towel patterns, I guess. Yeah, so we got like the desired designs and the towel patterns. It'll be fun just to say, all right, we got the towel patterns, and we've got the designs, desired designs. Those are these. So let's see how we would do this. So if I was just looking at this like BRW or whatever, like I might start thinking like, all right, let's just do like the smallest ones, like the minimum one. So I look at B. Do we have a B? Yeah, that's good. R, do we have an R? Yeah. W, do we have a W? No, no. So what would I do next? Be like, do we have a WR? Yeah, we do. Cool. Now do we have an R? No, we don't. So I might get here and say like, dang, like that's this one's impossible. But looking at what it says, oh, it can be made with a BR towel and a WR towel and finally an R towel. Okay, so it can be created. So it says, so instead of, if we looked at like BR, yeah, there's a BR towel, WR, there's a WR towel, and then R, an R towel. So it seems like just going through, feels weird to call it this way, but like greedily picking the smallest, the one. I don't know. It just seems weird to call it greedy because greedy's like, oh, take the biggest thing possible. Um, opposite of greedy is like unselfishly just take like the smallest thing possible at every step. So I guess we could try the opposite. Like we could keep growing this as much as possible. It's kind of like two ways I'm thinking about it. There's kind of like iterating along the towel patterns and kind of, it's almost kind of like sorting these from biggest to smallest. Like be like BWU and then like WR and then like RB, GB, BR. Yeah, all the towel patterns of size 3. And then whatever, R, B, G. Yeah. So like all the towel patterns of size like 3, all the towel patterns of size 2, all the towel patterns of size 1. And we kind of, I guess we kind of have like a pointer to where we are right now. And we kind of just like iterate through these until we kind of like find one. And so we see it matches there. So we kind of cross it out and then go here. And then we kind of iterate again through until we see like WR. Kind of almost want to do it like, so we iterated through until we found like BR, and that was good. Iterate through until we find WR. So that's good. And then we iterate through until we find R. And that's it. And we found it. So that seems like a pretty good algorithm to me. That's the thing with these greedy algorithms, though. They're always like, you're always kind of like taking a chance. Technically, you could like go out, you could like prove it. You could prove that it works. Sometimes you can do that. Sometimes they're kind of more intuitive, where it's like, oh yeah, you do this, and you're never gonna find yourself in a position where this kind of like doesn't work. I usually struggle to like get that intuition though. Okay, so let's just, I don't know, I guess, yeah, let's just go through a few of these then. So BGGR, let's see if this works. So yeah, let's go through, I guess, yeah, let's just match them. Okay, I guess we got to B, so that's it. Let's see, the first thing starts with a G. This is GB. Okay, there's a G. Match that. Same thing's going to happen. And then, yeah, we're going to go through. There's an R. So, like, that one's good. Let's see if that's what it said. It's just like, yeah, just individual towels. So, what about the next one? GBBR. So, okay, GB, cool. Like, got that. And then BR, okay, cool. We got that. What does it say here? GBBR, yeah, okay. So I want to see, are there multiple ways to make this towel, by the way? Like if we just did G and then B and then B and then R. So yeah, so there is multiple ways to make this towel. Like the GBR thing, like, so we could either just do like, it's almost like recursive where we could do a GB and we could do a BR, and like this could be a G and a B. Like this kind of breaks apart to a GB, and this breaks apart into a BR because we have all these individual. So in this kind of like greedy way, you could decompose it into constituent like towel patterns. But if we also had the towel pattern like BB, there's like multiple ways you could decompose it kind of with the biggest possible kind of like towel chunks. Like you could do GB, BR, but like you do have BB as well. So there's like different ways to parse it, I guess. Different ways to break it apart. But let's see if our algorithm works. So, all right. So R, we kind of like go and start with R's. Yeah. towel patterns. RB, no. Okay, so we got an R. Okay, and then there is RB here. And then what about GB? Yeah, there's GB. And then R. Okay, cool, that's good. How about this one? UBWU. So we don't have any of these which start with a U. So we're basically screwed. Can't do that one. UBU is impossible. BW, B. Okay, B's good. We got that. Things starting with W. WR, no. Oh, no, hold on. So we do have BWU, like this first thing here. Knock it out. So R. Okay, we got the R. Is there an RG? No. Just another R. And then a G. All right, that's good. Got that one. What about this one? BR. Yeah, let's do that. GR. There's no GR, but there's G and there's R. So that's good. How about this one? B, something that starts with a B. There's only BR. Okay, I guess we only got that. BR, there's this one. Now GW, there's no GW, but there's a G. And then WB, there's no, this one's impossible too. Yeah. Okay, so that seems pretty straightforward. Seems like a pretty straightforward approach that's going to work. I wonder if just taking a second though, like thinking about why does it work, is that kind of useful? It's kind of this approach. Yeah, this is the thing with the greedy algorithm. So kind of thinking about it, if you just always take out like the biggest chunk you can, will doing that ever kind of mess you up? Like, I guess, I guess the sort of alternative is that, say you don't always take the biggest chunk you can. Like, say you've got this like BWU here. It's almost like if we had like BWUU, could it be the case that like taking out this chunk here, yeah, what if we had like BWU and we had BW and UU? Yeah. Oh, dang. I feel like this is gonna break it. Like if we only had these if we only had these design patterns, then like if we just go and like knock out the biggest thing, we're just left with this U, and we don't have anything left. But if we did the smaller one, let's erase here. But if we did the smaller ones first, just like BW and UU, we would be good. So yeah, this greedy approach won't work. So how did we kind of know that? Yeah, I guess we're kind of like just looking at the whole chunk, kind of like globally. We did a little like greedy move here, which was like optimal locally, but globally it fucked us up. So you kind of have to have this like global picture of, you don't want to, if you kind of had this global picture where you kind of knew ahead of time that this thing breaks into chunks nicely like this, and you have these chunks versus kind of like taking this, but it's kind of leaving this value here, which we don't have a thing for. Is there some way to do this than just kind of like taking all possible like parsings of it? I also wonder for part 1 too, like if we just did this greedy approach, like I wonder if it would pass the test case. Like it would pass, if it would pass the input or not. How much input are we talking here? Probably not. This is like a lot of input. Hmm. Yeah. Mhm. Maybe there's kind of this like it's almost like this greedy, it's like this greedy but back off strategy where you do, yeah, you basically like do this greedy approach, and if you get into a state where it's not working, then you just kind of have to like, you just kind of have to backtrack. I think that might kind of work. It's like in this BWU thing. So you do try this greedy approach where you kind of, yeah, you matched on like the BWU. So you kind of go down that path. No, my throat's itchy. You kind of have this BWU thing here. And so you kind of go down this path where you choose BWU, and now you're left with a U. But now you kind of get into the state, and there's no move that you could make. So you kind of like backtrack. And you kind of like try the next thing. Like, say we also had BW here, and we also had UU. So we would kind of like match along the length 2 things. We would find BW. Yeah, I guess so. We would just do BW, and we would be left with UU. So now we again kind of go down the like the greedy backtracking back off approach, and we find UU, and we now just like have the empty string, and we're good. Like we found a thing. That seems like a pretty great approach. Actually, it's like combining this greedy approach. It's like leveraging this greedy approach, and yeah, just using backtracking, I guess, because I don't know. It seems a lot better than the brute force, which is like somehow just like try every possible. Um, I don't know. It's almost like uninformed search or something, where you just I don't know. You could imagine an approach that looks a lot like this, but so we're at like BWUU, and we just kind of maybe you just like iterate in the opposite order, where you try B, and yeah, you just have WUU, and then you look for W's, I guess, and yeah, there's nothing here that matches it. The WU. And this is also uh, another part of the greedy thing too. It's like it's kind of this assumption that you can go left to right, and you don't. You can just like look at the first part of it and be like this. If you can't like parse the first part, then like you're not gonna be able to parse the whole rest. And is that true? It's like, yeah, I mean, if you can't find a thing that like takes the first part, like even if you knock out like the whole rest, yeah, it's like if you can't do anything with like the first part here, like even the first character, even if you like knock out like all the rest, you're still gonna be. This is like the thing with greedy where it's like, could you kind of like go all the way down and then come back and then somehow like that work out there like saves you from your current state? And it doesn't seem that way, because any future work you do would kind of like still have to consider this input. It's like you can't like kick the can down the road like with like maybe you can with like all the subsequent input like after the first character, but if you can't do anything with this first character, then like any can kicking down the road is going to have to deal with this. And unless like something changes, where we just got like a new towel pattern all of a sudden, like W, where just like postponing the inevitable, uh, postponing like looking at this, something feasibly could change, then we're still going to be like faced with this like harsh reality of this thing here. So dang, it's getting heavy. Um, but yeah, so yeah, so we showed that this like greedy approach, like isn't always gonna isn't guaranteed to work, and in fact is like pretty like simple example to come up with like where it wouldn't. And um, yeah, going back to this like uninformed search, where we just like try just like a random subset of these. I don't know. I don't think there's any guarantee that it's faster. It's not like big O event. It's like the big O event is still the same, but I think like kind of on average it's gonna be faster. And this is very cheap and like simple just to sort this and iterate through as opposed to just like iterating through a random thing of it. So it's like greedy backtracking approach. Is there anything left? Yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna code this on stream or not. This is the main thing that I wanted to do on stream, which is kind of the lay out the initial understanding first, and then coding. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the coding thing on stream. Probably just not gonna do it. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I feel like we got a pretty good like handle grasp on it. So we'll see. Probably just gonna code it up. Maybe I'll decide to do it on stream, but probably not. So thanks, guys. Sounds good. See you next time. Peace.